We appreciate India's approach. It has been very consistent, very well balanced and independent. India is well aware of the origins of the crisis in Ukraine. The restrictions, the sanctions, which are illegitimate by nature in the first place, they have created huge disruptions in the global markets, the energy markets in the first place. India, being a consumer, quite naturally is looking for the cheapest offers. And Russia, in turn, being deprived of its traditional markets in Europe, for example, is looking for new markets, for new consumers. We think that this trend will continue in a structured manner. No one will say at the moment how the situation in the energy markets will look by the end of the year. Even the experts in the commodity markets. But we are looking at further expanding our relationship in this area, at promoting the ongoing dialogue and cooperation based on long-term arrangements and agreements.
How do you look at the statements given by the Indian leaders like Mr. Jaishankar and Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, in which they said that India is unnecessarily targeted because even the European countries are taking gas, as you just mentioned in your answer. So how do you analyze these statements?
I believe that these are the same double standards and hypocrisy with geopolitics behind it. Dr. Jaishankar was very clear to articulate the imperative to satisfy the needs of the Indian people. Essentially, we can put it like that the West continues to plausibly ignore India's legitimate national interests, just like it did so, not so plausibly, at the time of colonialism. The Western sanctions against Russia are illegitimate in the first place, by the international law. Secondly, as such, they have obviously been a failure and have exacerbated the global economic crisis dramatically. Sanctions policy created nothing but the spread of mistrust, the instability and imbalances, not to mention double standards or the violation of principles of equality and non-interference in domestic affairs. Emerging powers like Russia or India at some point of time began to outplay the West, the developed worlds, in other words, in the world economy by the Western rules. in order to retain its leading positions and exceptionalism. The Western powers, the US in the first place, are using geopolitics. I believe that this ill-intended initiative to put a cap on the price of Russian oil by administrative measures is both narrow-minded and unrealistic. It will definitely affect the global supply chains, and consequently will increase the energy rates at galloping projection. If this whim is implemented, Russia will simply stop selling its oil to those countries